Hello, happy Monday. Um, Still can't figure out what to talk about, right? I don't plan these things. If you haven't noticed, it's only like a handful of y'all. Um, but the couple of y'all who watch my little videos, I thank you and I appreciate you. And I try to watch everybody else's videos who watch my videos and a whole bunch of other people's videos too. But happy Tuesday. I literally never know what I'm going to talk about. I just kind of do it when I'm like, oh, I have a free moment. Let me say it. So, I don't know. I'm trying to think. Should I talk about what I said I was going to talk about last time, which was needing your spouse, like needing your partner? Or should I talk about what I've been supposed to share for like 2 months? The whole praying and fasting. I guess I'm going to do that because it's long overdue. Um, I don't have my ring on because I'm in the middle of cooking. So we good over here. I just took my ring off. I take my ring off when I cook because I don't like to touch like raw food with my ring on. But that's not a part of the story. So, as I said in my last video, I wrote my crazy faith prayer, and like 20 some odd days later, I met my husband, who, if you follow him, which I only got like a handful of y'all followers, and most of y'all know him anyway. So if you follow Herc, that's my husband, and I met him like 20 some odd days after I wrote that crazy faith prayer. But what you don't know is I had just completed a 45-day um, fast and prayer. I wouldn't even call it a challenge. I would call it, I don't know what I would call it, but originally they were calling it like a 45 days praying for my future spouse. And so I decided to do that with a group of people that I know. And in addition to that, I said, I know that mentally and spiritually and even like physically, I needed to do some cleansing. So I opted to do a fast. And this was my first time as an adult fasting, right? So as a kid, I grew up Catholic. And every time Lent season would come around, my mom would say, you have to fast from something, Jaleesa. What are you going to fast from? And as a kid, I would always say something like soda, or um, I would try candy. I wasn't good at that. Um, but I would do it just for that little period of time, and then I wouldn't have any intention behind it because I was a child and I did not know better. But as an adult, I still try to fast yearly, but I tend to fail. I tend to fail at fasting in my yearly fast. Well, that year, 2020, I said, I'm committing myself. I'm going to do a legit fast. And as I said to y'all before, I am no like spiritual saint or anything like that. I have messed up a plethora of times, and I'm probably going to keep messing up a plethora of times. But thank God for a forgiving God. Um, so I tried this fast, and I went into my, like meditation mode, prayer mode, and I said, like, what should I fast from? Like, what should I fast from? Should I fast from something specific? Should I do the intermittent fast? Should I go like one meal a day? What should I do? Um, I had no guidance other than God, and something told me, do not consume solids for 14 days. Then give yourself like some slight solids like salad and stuff like that for 14 days. And but when I started it, that was the intention. So for the first 14 days, I consumed nothing but like protein shakes, juices, water, miso soup, bone broth, stuff like that. And as I was about to approach that 7 day period where I was going to consume salads and like light things, I said, well, I feel really good on the soups and stuff. So I continued to do this. I did it for a total of 39 days. 39 days was how long I fasted. Something came up. I can't remember what came up. I think I had to like go and get blood drawn or something like that, and I needed to have something solid. So I ended up eating. But nonetheless, I completed this period of greater than 30 days fasting. And in that process, I was fasting and I was drawing closer to God. So I was making sure that I got deeper into my prayer life. I got deeper into like understanding the Bible and, just having better conversations with better people. I stopped communicating, and it was not intentional. This was not like I wrote it down like, oh, I'm gonna cut off certain people from my life. That was not what my intention was. It just so happened that the more I prayed, um, the less I entertained other people. And honestly, the more I prayed and the more my verbiage changed, or the more my conversation changed, the less these people wanted to entertain me. So they started to fall off. Thank God, right? And in that process, I was, as any single woman was doing at that time, I was dating. I was intentionally dating, but I was intentionally dating a lot of people who were not intentional about me. How about that? So I was dating, but they was just there for the moment. And it was almost as if, like, as I was growing, I was, surpassing them. I was moving further and further away from these people. And it was some people that I thought that were actually supposed to stay in my life. Not just romantic people, but like friends and some family members, co-workers, stuff like that. And I just started to slowly disconnect from them. No hardships, no issues, no turmoil, just disconnect. And eventually it put me to a space where it was really easy to pray. It was really easy to be intentional about like growing in my faith and growing in my spiritual journey. Side story, I am still growing in my faith, right? And I work downtown, so I'm walking downtown, and that's my thing lately, is trying to get those steps in, because I do get my 10,000 steps a day, and I like to walk downtown. Well, I'm walking, and this lady drops a book. And I'm like, ma'am, you dropped the book, you dropped the book. I guess she had on like AirPods or something, and she couldn't hear me. Well, I I just kept walking at first, and I said, let me check out that book. Let me see what that book is, because I like reading. So maybe it's something I need to read. Picked it up. I was having the worst day ever. Like, literally the worst day ever. I was not being Christ-like when it comes to the people that I was working with, that I am working with. And I picked up this book, and the title of this book was Growing in Your Faith. You know what? I got the book. So I'm going to grab the book, because I picked up this book, and it was like something like poured over me. And it's called Growing Your Faith. And literally, it's on the back, it says, when we are gripped by the astonishing fact of Christ's love for us, we desire to draw close to him. But what can we do to deepen our relationship with Jesus? What does he expect of us? And how can we be more like him? I was like, you know what, God, you kind of funny. But that was a sidebar. But back to my story. So I completed 39 days of fasting and praying. So I was praying fervently. And it was crazy, because the title of this little challenge or whatever was praying for your future spouse. So I thought we was going to be sitting here every day praying like, oh my God, Jesus, give me the husband of my dreams and this and that and the third. We prayed no prayers that were like asking God to give a husband or asking God to give a wife. We prayed prayers that asked God to make us better, to make me the person that whomever I am supposed to share my life with needs, wants, and desires. And so that'll lead me to next time I make a video, I'll talk to you about needing your spouse. But that's what we prayed about. We prayed about like becoming better people. We prayed about like, what do you need to do for you to be ready for your future spouse? And I was completely like shook. I was like, I thought we was praying for our future spouses, not knowing that in healing myself, I was becoming a better person. And I say that wholeheartedly because I, like everybody else under the sun, I thought I was good, right? Not like I was perfect, but I thought that, like, I'm a good catch. And I was still, a good catch, but I wasn't well. I wasn't healed from past trauma and past relationships. I wasn't open to like effective communication, and nor was I open to like compromise and like meeting in the middle. And I I wasn't prepared to actually lean on somebody or have somebody lean on me. And so those 45 days of prayer and 39 days of fasting, writing out that crazy faith prayer, that those were all my little steps to becoming who and what I needed to be, becoming the version of me that I needed to be, or that God needed me to be, before He said, "Here's the person I want you to be that with, and I want you to be that for. I want you to be all of these things, and this is the person who I want to go on that journey with you." And by no means was I in the best shape when I met my husband. Like, I had a lot of stuff that I was still working on, but I just so happened to meet a man who was still working on himself as well. And he was willing to like walk alongside me and work on himself while I worked on myself. And we could meet in the middle to work with each other and on our relationship together and with God. So that's all I got. It's only a handful of y'all, but if you share it and you want to tell somebody about it, I hope you do. And if you liked it and it gave you a word and a blessing, like, comment, share, tell a friend to tell a friend to check me out. Have a magnificent Monday. Bye.